Just putting on some of this makeup to tone my face to be even more white, if that's possible. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is just repackaged talcum powder. Okay, I've just got my hat going over there. Oh yeah. Okay, today's movie is Last House on Dead End Street. I'm sorry, it's The Fun House. No. The Slaughterhouse? The Cuckoo Clocks from Hell?
The Cuckoo Clock.
Last House on Dead End Street is the title of a film that has nothing to do with the title. It's from 1973, and 1974, and 1977, and 1979. Yes, films at 77 minutes of length and at least 3 different titles are always a good sign. Last House on Dead End Street follows in the footsteps of other films such as House at the Edge of the Park, in that they try to capitalize on the success of Last House on the Left. The film was directed by Roger Watkins, who is credited under a pseudonym along with the rest of the cast and crew, and the films gained notoriety in the underground circles over the years due to the story surrounding its initial screenings and for its reputation of a surreal atmosphere and relentless brutality, as opposed to being, a good movie. Supposedly this original cut ran for about 3 hours, and initially at one screening at least caused some riots, which if the current cut is any indication, it went something like this. When will this movie end? A creepy Oneonta student collects some film students off campus and then kidnaps a few people and then murders them and then films the murders and then hopes to sell that footage of the murders to potential buyers. And then he called the film Last House on Dead End Street. Yes, folks, this was still the era where you could convince people that actual murders would be shown to people in public. That would never happen nowadays. Now, one could admit that the film is creepy looking, and the fact that everyone was given pseudonyms who worked on the production helped to sort of create this myth around the film that people were actually murdered. And maybe the movie was ahead of its time in predicting the public's fascination with the macabre, but that doesn't necessarily make it a clever movie. And humankind's predilection with perversion is nothing new either. And I think this has less to do with exposing humankind's prurient and violent desires and more to do with, hey, what's in the news? Oh, that guy from the Fugs wrote a book about the Manson murders. Let's just do that. And the fact that there was initially a 3-hour cut of this movie is astounding. I mean, it limps across the finish line to 80 minutes like a 100-year-old man who smokes 200 cigarettes a day. For instance, the initial shots of the movie are just exterior shots of him walking around a building with overdubs clunkily inserted going, "You have just been sentenced to 1 year in prison," even though later he says, "Yeah, I did 6 months. They have wronged me, but I will show them. I will now get even with them now." Yeah, don't get your hopes up too much. It was shot on a $3,000 budget, which even in the 70s was not much. And what, did most of that go to drugs? Oh, it did. Okay, good. I want my would-be 70s snuff directors on drugs. So Bill Hader Rainn Wilson just got out of his 6-month sentence of a year, and he's looking to go from stag films to straight-up on-screen murder. We learn all this mostly through watching a stag film with ADR dialogue on a shoehorn the size of Texas. Then we get some superfluous slaughterhouse footage, because after all, this is the era of Mondo Cane and Africa dee-dee-da-da-da. Yeah, one thing you'll notice right away is that there's a lot of ADR lines. In fact, I'm pretty sure the whole movie is ADR'd, and sometimes it's very, very rushed.
Listen now, since we're situated in the old abandoned building up on the hill, speak to the old blind guy who takes care of the place. He keeps it clean. He's an idiot. But if you got some chicks living there, just give him a piece of ass once a week, and he'll fix you right up. He'll cooperate with everything, all right? Now, as soon as I get out of here, I'll meet you, okay? Now don't forget. We're gonna get something good going there, right? Okay, take it easy, Terry. Yeah, baby, take it easy. Oh, yeah, okay, baby, I'll see you. Yeah, take it easy. Yeah, I'll be up there, yeah.
I think I actually would have really liked this movie if it was just that character talking for 90 minutes, not letting anyone else get a word in. Then we get some more ADR dialogue of characters talking, but with lots of reverb. And then we're introduced to some of the characters who get their comeuppance, whether or not they deserve it. And then we come upon one of the most baffling moments of the movie, in which a woman puts on blackface and is then whipped while everyone at a party just kind of sits around and laughs and watches in amazement, sort of like this. But what's really weird is that it keeps cutting from that to the woman's husband petting his cat, waiting for the party to be over. This takes up about 76 minutes of the 77-minute runtime. Mercifully, about 30 minutes in, the wacky otherworldliness starts to creep in with those weird clear masks they put on, and the music gets all ethereal and the off-screen voices start to fit in. The first murder is kind of creepy, and the lingering nature of it fits as the characters are settling into their murderous disposition, complete with a Zardoz stonehead. But then we get right back into the awkward when Bill Hader Rainn Wilson seduces Blackface Lady, cause who could resist that blustery incel charm? After the hot sex sesh, he fucking tells her that he actually murders people. Why? And you know what? I actually could have used a nice, long, self-indulgent speech from one of the main characters here. You know, something like, "This is the future of films. I am merely a messenger for what the public wants. All films will be like this in 5 years." You know. Instead, we get a long, tedious sequence in which all the characters are whispering like this with a bunch of, like, echo in their voice, and it just keeps going on and on. Oh my god, I can't remember the last time I saw a movie with this much maniacal laughter. And there are actually people out there who will say, "This is the creepiest film I've ever seen." The original cut was 3 hours. And there's a scene shortly after that that I thought could have been really effective and actually the centerpiece of the movie in an iconic moment where one of his henchmen sort of throws one of the guys they're roughing up through this like little break in the wall there in their studio, and he suddenly gets up and goes, "Hey, I'm directing this fucking movie!" And then I thought he was going to make a turn and then kill the henchman and, you know, super turn crazy and go, "No, this is a movie, I'm taking this seriously, and you just screwed up my movie," and then kill the henchman, and now you really don't know what's going to happen. No, he just kind of beats up the guy and we assume he dies, but not after repeating the same 1 or 2 clips of him saying, "I'm directing this fucking movie," for like 2.5 minutes. And then the last shot is actually pretty creepy, of all the characters slowly walking out of the shot into the darkness, never to be found again. It's a grim reminder that some of the most heinous and thoughtless crimes go unpunished.
Terence Hawkins, Kenneth Hardy, Catherine Hughes, Patricia Kuhn, and William Drexel were all later apprehended and are in the state penitentiary.
Well, as you can probably tell, I didn't really like this movie. As far as positives go, there's glimpses of that dreamlike, surreal quality that I was really looking for a lot more of and really expecting more of. And a lot of that is saved by the music. The music is probably the best asset this movie has. Some of those musical stings in this movie are exactly what I think of when I want to hear in my horror soundtrack, which is stark, otherworldly, minimal. And the music itself was lifted free from archives, and it was composed by this guy named Eric Peters, who's just some random early electronic experimentalist in the same vein as early Steve Reich, Pauline Oliveris, John Cage type stuff. And even if you're going to do that sort of unrehearsed, jolty editing thing, that could become its own language and its own style and really be pulled off well. Like, take for example a movie like Wanda. I really would have preferred to have more material having to do with their cult-like status. You know, why are they wearing those particular masks? Why is he wearing that stonehead thing? What's just some more character backstory and how these characters came to be, other than like, we're gonna make a movie, make some money, and just have some sex. Whatever, it's the 70s.
What about those, you know?
So, I would really only recommend this if you have to check it off your list, or if you're just bare bones like, I just want to see something gory and depraved, then go ahead, take a shot. Me personally, I'd rather just listen to that completely aimless, weird album by that guy Eric Peters. But hey, just like the main character in the movie for no reason lets the other character in on a secret, I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm the one who destroyed the 3-hour negative. I'm just a wicked boy. Stay sexy.
Tits like bananas.